today, March 12th, 2026, calling the meeting to order at 8:35 a.m. You got your recorder set up?
Yep.
All right, we'll start. We'll do that again then. Okay. The meeting was brought to order at 8:35 a.m., regular scheduled meeting, March 12th, 2026. Approval of the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as is.
I second.
Got a motion and a second on the floor to approve the agenda for today. All in favor?
Do we need to move one of the agenda items to the back?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
you're right.
yep.
Good call.
Mhm,
Good catch.
yep.
I
So,
amend
so we-
that motion to move the
Alright.
item number 7 to the last part of the meeting.
which we'll just make it item 15, I guess, for now. Wouldn't you say?
Well, 14, and then we'll change item 14 to 15.
Okay. So we're gonna move,
Item
number
7,
7, invited guest Joe Norman, down to 14.
and move item 14 to 15.
Right, okay. Now can I entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
I make a motion, we approve as amended.
Second.
Okay.
Got a motion by Brent Davis and a second by Christopher T. All in favor? Motion carries. Okay, can we stand for our invocation?
Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for each and every one that's here today. As we go through this meeting today, give us wisdom and knowledge for hearts and minds to be fair with our neighbors. In Jesus' name, I pray, amen.
Amen. Let's face the flag, pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. All right, agenda item number 5, can I entertain a motion for the approval of the February 13th, 2026 regular scheduled minutes and the February 24th special call meeting minutes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the February 13th and February 24th meetings.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second to approve both agendas. All in favor? Both minutes. Motion carries. Number 6 is public comment.
Yes, if you don't mind.
I don't.
When you were here on February 13th, you had one of the new business non-disclosure agreements for a firefighter that was here, and y'all approved him. And then Mr. Morton, after a little while, was looking it up. He came back and y'all had to go back and rescind that approval and put it on the next agenda. And I kind of wonder, why would a fireman want to be on the non-disclosure on this thing? And one of the reasons I come up with is because their taxes get lowered, because nobody checks their property values, or at least nobody from the public is allowed to check it. So I want to know, it was supposed to be, as you put it, on the next agenda.
Which
I'd
it
like
is,
to know where that is.
which it is not. It has not been approved, I'm sure.
But
Well,
it
it was
is,
approved, you approved it.
No, I think we
No,
told you
you
that.
approved it. Rob Morton came back and y'all had to rescind it.
I don't know. On my recollection, what do y'all recall? I thought we had.
You weren't here.
Okay, that's all
You weren't here, I'm sorry. Y'all weren't here.
Oh, yeah, we only had 3 that day.
I thought we rescinded it.
we did.
He
Yeah.
said they wasn't an arresting agent and they wasn't qualified.
Well, he stood corrected. At first, he said it meets the definition, and then he said, well, he backtracked and read the
They don't have arresting power is what he said.
right. And so we actually did not approve it, correct?
I
In
believe
Yeah.
that's
the
correct.
minutes.
It's in the minutes.
If you
I mean,
look in the minutes, it was rescinded from the first motion and proposed to the next meeting, and we have not put it on the next meeting because we do not know if he has arresting powers.
okay. So that's why we have minutes.
Okay, but you're always supposed to put it on the next meeting, and this is the next meeting.
We don't have his information. We don't have his information yet. When it comes to both of us, then we can put it on the next meeting. Okay.
So basically, I guess it could just be in limbo forever if he doesn't bring in the information, because we won't put it on the agenda until we obtain what we need to obtain, put it on the agenda.
Can I add something?
It's public comment.
Okay. Just because somebody has disclosed, that they're non-disclosure, doesn't mean that their stuff doesn't get checked like everybody else's every year.
Absolutely.
Just, I don't know you meant it the way that it came across, but it sounded like they've just got a free pass. And that's not how it goes. Everybody's stuff is supposed to be checked.
Yeah, regardless of the non-disclosure. It's just the
Exactly.
non-disclosure is just so folks can't look it up, try to figure out where you live.
Yes.
So they can't track you down.
Right, and I've asked for, take people's names off of that, just give me the property number, the property locations on there. I don't want anybody's name, so I can look it up. And I'm told, no.
You need to get a copy of the law. Is there a way you can give him a copy of what you gave me? That will answer all your questions, because there's a state law that tells all that stuff. Okay, that's all. Sorry.
Were
Yep,
you
that's it.
done with your?
Yep,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You got, is that it for you, Becky?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're moving on to really item 7, which is, board members report. Anybody on this panel got anything? Moving on to the next line item, which is Chief Appraiser report. If you would, please, sir.
Progress for January and February of 2026. First 2 months of the year has been a period of significant activity for the Pike County office. Norman Appraisal has been diligently working to fulfill the requirements outlined in that consent order. Additionally, our office has been processing a high volume of homestead, exemption applications, and conservation-related filings. Since the beginning of the year, we have successfully processed and approved 53 homestead exemptions applications. These include 8 S5 disabled veterans under 65 years old, 41 S1 regular homesteads, 3 SD disabled veteran exemptions over 65. We're currently processing an additional 140 homestead applications in preparation for the next appointed meeting on March 12, 2026. The breakdown of these 140 applications is as follows: 19 L4, ages 65 to 69, income based; 9 L1, ages 65 to 69, non-income based; 47 L7s, over 70, income based; 13 L8, over 70, non-income based; 5 S5 disabled veterans under 65, 1 SD disabled veteran over 65, 5 L3, ages 62 to 64, income based. Total homestead applications to date, as of this report, we have processed 192 applications. The deadline for filing homestead exemption is April 1st, 2026. In addition to the homestead exemptions, we are processing several conservation-related applications which require significant time and effort for review and inspection. Current conservation applications are as follows: 12 new conservation applications, 17 continuation applications, 11 renewal applications, and 1 FLPA approval. These properties necessitate in-depth processing and field inspection to ensure compliance with all regulations. The Board of Equalization will meet on March 20, 2026. Additionally, a tax appeal has been filed for the property on New Haven Church Road by Brandon J. Garner. The petition for review will be heard on March 16, 2026. That's in the Superior Court building. The office staff continues to visit properties daily to ensure all necessary assessments and inspections are completed. As of the writing of this report, the specific numbers of property visits are unavailable. We will update the board as soon as that data is available. Overall, it's been a busy start to the year. We appreciate the continued support from the Board of Assessors as we continue to meet our goals and ensure the office operates smoothly. That's all I have.
Thank you, Greg. Can I ask you a question,
sir.
Greg?
Yes, sir.
Personal property, when's the trailer gonna?
Well, I got to get there some reports. I got to get to Mr. Spencer. That came hopefully this week. That I'll
Okay.
get something to him so he can.
We gonna get him on contract where he can finish this year?
As much as he can get done, Lynn. That's all I can tell you.
Okay. Commercial's going on the digest this year.
Yes. Yeah.
A couple of things. What's the deadline on the breach of a CUVA?
What you mean?
If somebody breaches their conservation and they have to pay the fine, is there a deadline on it, or it can just
No,
continue?
that doesn't continue forever. The main thing is when you discover it. And then once that discovery is made, then the Board of Assessors has a responsibility to notify them within 30 days of their obligation to pay that penalty. They have 30 days to either, they have 30 days, but once you go into the appeal process, then that can take a significant amount of time.
They still held to that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It goes as a lien.
One more thing.
Yes.
Joe has been concentrating on trying to get, subdivisions and commercial stuff. But he's not gonna do the county walk around, is he?
Well, that's part of it.
That's
Whatever.
He'll help with it.
Yeah, that's part of the.
We got to do a certain amount of that this year too. haven't we?
Absolutely, we do.
The contract that I saw said that they were gonna visit every commercial property, industrial
Right,
property.
that's what they've already, that's already, that task is already.
I'm
complete.
talking about like country dwellings, homestead. and-
Well, that's what this, when Mr. Norman gets here today, that's when we'll start. We sent y'all a contract for 80,000. That was all commercial, but that's been amended to include some residential properties. They can't do them all. They've already, this is an additional, but Joe will explain that when he gets.
Yeah, but I understand they're trying to do as much as they
We're trying to
can.
get as much done as we can because everything we go and look at counts as an inspection, whether that's a conservation, whether it's somebody's homestead, whether that's any reason. Anytime anybody comes in there and we have to go and make an inspection, that counts as a review.
I just want to make sure we don't miss any partials.
Well, here's the way you do that. You go to the WinGap, our appraisal software, and you go in there and we've been one of the things that we were negligent on in the past was not updating the inspected date and visit date. So we make certain now that anytime anybody addresses a property, that it has the date, this current date, so that at the end of the year we run a report that'll tell us exactly how many.
That way you can filter what has and has not been done to get on the 3-year cycle.
Yes, correct. See, because this 3-year cycle is actually starting this year. 25 ended because it was 23, 24, and 25. Remember, we go in 3-year. They'll review 25 this year. Remember, you're working a year, in this world, you're working a year backwards. So when you get in 26 year, you're looking at all the data that everything that happened at the Board of Assessors did in 25, that's what they will review. Next year, they'll review everything you do in 20. So when you start, you get the majority of, let's just say 5,000. If you get 4,200, that's still more than you have.
Yeah.
At least we have something going on. That's what the Department of Revenue is making sure that as long as we're making progress, can you get all 10,000 parcels done in 365? No. They know. They're not.
So it's a third, isn't it, Greg?
Well, that's what you're supposed to do. As long as once you start that third, we've already, a lot of properties have been looked at over the last 2 years since that signing of that order in July of 20.
Anything else?
Yeah, I see a lot of improvements on new houses too. And old houses, somebody will come in and totally renovate it. And, we might miss it for 2 years, but we want to make sure we catch it in the 3rd year.
The only thing I can say to that, as long as they get a permit, if that permit's delivered to us, then yeah, we're required to go and inspect.
A lot of people don't get a permit.
So that's, see there again, we can't
Yeah,
just
you
start,
can't.
that's like the old adage of, a broke clock's right twice a day.
If they got electricity, they can do what they want to their house, and then we got to catch it.
Yeah, but we're not still going inside the residence to inspect. It's only an exterior.
Right.
If
That's-
it changes
That can
size.
cause a problem for our office because, somebody, you go to somebody's house and
Liability.
knock on their door. They've done work on the house, but they don't let you in. Okay, so you don't really know.
Correct.
Then when somebody does get a permit, you go and say, "Oh, well, come on in." So it makes it look like, why are you going in this house and not that one? Because this one denied me entry. I didn't ask to come in.
That's right.
You asked me to come in, I will. But we like to have 2 people when we go inside somebody's house.
Agree.
Just simply because
Liability.
the climate we live in.
Absolutely.
Just don't need to walk in. And I
We
know-
don't just walk in.
I know y'all
Like I said,
don't,
we go
but,
there, I have it documented where just last week, somebody called in about, 2 tax assessors on the property. That's exactly what they're supposed to be doing. But then when you go and you knock on that door, because that's what you're supposed to do, and then they don't come to the door, what do you do? What would you do? What would you do?
Right.
Are you gonna go around the house? Well, that's what they did, because that's what that consent order tells us to do. Then the homeowner comes out and blasts us. Why you in my yard? Hey, you know what? We've done everything in our power to let you know that we're coming.
They walk around
Anything
behind the
else?
house?
Yeah.
Go
Got
ahead.
something else?
That's what it said.
I ain't
Complete
finished.
walk around.
I don't want them to comparing us to adjoining counties, because, you know, some counties, and this, you know, where, that they just walked in the house and the owner was in there and they walked in on him. And I know our office would never do that, but I don't want to be compared to them like somebody saying we can walk in.
Makes everybody look bad.
It certainly does.
That walk around phrase, is that specific to the property or is that referring to a walk around the county? Are
That's to that specific property.
you sure?
I'm fairly sure, Chris. Fairly sure.
Okay.
If I read it again, I mean, I try to forget that. So that.
Yeah.
No.
That doesn't seem to me like a good idea.
Well, you got it. I mean, most counties, they require a front, rear, and both side photograph. How you gonna do that if you don't walk around? It puts us at particular.
Risk.
Yes.
So it goes to a property instead of the whole county it's referred to.
Well, each property, I mean, however many, I mean, there's 10,419 properties in this county.
And growing.
Yeah, well, yeah, as daily. So you have to go when you're gonna need to get 3,500 done every year.
Yeah, double check on that walk around verbiage, because I mean, there's a lot of that is geared for suburban and urban properties, and
We
they've got
know,
fences and restrictions and.
and I mean, you note that on your field
Yeah.
sheet. It's, hey,
I'm just not sure walking
I'm not, if
through somebody's backyard is a good idea.
Some of them you get away with, some of them you
Right.
won't.
Did you have anything else?
I did not.
Did you have any? All
I'm finished now.
right, let's move on to old business. This is, old business is one item, board consideration for William Wayne Leslie.
Did y'all get a handle on that?
what's that?
Did y'all get a handle on that?
On this,
The way I understand that is,
there's one thing you can do with this property, and that's breach it.
Okay,
Breach the property.
I looked it up.
I know.
I spent some time looking at it.
so you want to start it off?
Yeah.
So this was a separate tract of 58 acres initially in a 2-acre tract, correct?
If you look at the original deed, it was for 64 acres. However, it
That's plus or minus.
Plus or minus, yeah.
plus or minus 64 acres, but we had it at 60 plus or minus acres plus a 2-acre rectangle. If you go back and you look at the and it'll take me a minute to get my head wrapped back around it, so forgive me.
You're going all the way back to 2020
Yes,
to the November 9th.
yeah. No. Yes,
That's from Joe to Heck Group LLC.
Heck Group, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've got another question about the Heck Group later, after we talk.
Yeah.
It transferred from Joseph Caldwell to Heck Group, and then a corrective deed was filed on November, with an effective date of November 9th
Of what year?
of 2020.
Okay.
That corrective deed when you look at the legal description, it was the entire 62 acres. Yes.
I know.
Okay. So,
Well, now, wait a minute now.
mhm,
So you're saying 62,
yeah,
and the deed said the original, when he bought it from Dan, at 64, plus or
Plus or
minus,
minus.
more or less,
More or less.
right? Is that not what it- is that not the way it
62
read?
yeah,
62
but
would be
that
less.
64, it's all the same parcel.
I-
It's using chains as a measurement tool, which are kind of antiquated. That's like,
Well, that's how old that
old that original
description
deed
is.
was, right? So that, losing 2 acres because of an old legal description like that is not out of the realm of possibility.
Yes, that's
Okay.
true.
So I'm making the assumption that that 64 acres is actually the 62 point whatever.
Right.
That includes
That included that 2
62
acres.
more or
plus
less.
the two.
Yes, so when the original deed was filed in 2020, it had that less than except that he's talking about.
Yes.
But then they went and corrected it,
Corrected
and then it
the-
showed the entire 62 acres.
Okay. Well, that was his whole point.
Yeah, that's his whole point. I'm thinking he's right about that.
Yeah.
Question I have is the conservation easement was filed in 2013.
So it ran out.
It ran out in 2014,
Yeah. And
so
so,
2024. However, a continuation was filed
well,
by William Leslie, but I could not locate a continuation from Heck Group.
see, part of the problem, that's why when that found out that he wasn't a qualifying owner because he had income that was not over 80% of the farm.
So
You can have-
why didn't it breach in 21?
because he moved it from the Heck Group to William Wayne Leslie in 21.
In the conservation.
Yes.
So Leslie is Heck Group.
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
Well, he didn't know that. He was just, when we spoke about it, I said,
Yeah.
Wayne, you got a problem because the Heck Group is not a qualifying owner. If an LLC can own a farm, you can.
Right,
But 80% of the income must come from ag related, not just specific to that one property.
well, there was a period of time in between November 2020 and February
Yes.
21.
That's
where
when
it was still owned by Heck. So as of January 1st, it was still owned by Heck.
Yes, and so in order to eliminate that breach, you had changed it from Heck Group to William Wayne Leslie.
Okay. All
So
right.
that's how you got William Wayne Leslie.
Well, then Heck, okay, well, that's fine.
And the CUA can transfer?
Yeah. So the
Continuation.
way I'm reading it is that when he transferred that whole property, it was a whole 62 acres. Now, who filled out the CUBA application in 2024? Because it's got handwriting and print on it.
That's mine. That's my signature. I did his
notarized
signature.
it.
I notarized his
Who,
signature.
who filled this information in here? That right there, the parcel number.
Wait a minute, let me see. This is done. When was this filed? Where is? Well, this is the continuation. That's Cindy Foster's writing right there. Looks to me like.
Yeah. The continuation will be filled out right.
In your summary, getting to your summary, what would be your recommendation?
That we made an error and didn't put the whole thing in covenant.
Yeah,
at the time.
So you would recommend?
Yeah,
putting
because
that-
somebody didn't look at the legal description.
That's why it's been taken off. That's why it's drugged this far.
Right.
So you would recommend putting the 2 acres in with that
You
one
gotta,
parcel?
you gotta stop. You gotta breach the covenant, and then you gotta decide whether you got a penalty or you don't have a penalty.
Why do I have to breach it?
Because you gotta stop that, because it restarted. We don't have that 2 acres in there.
So it restarted at 60 instead of 62.
Yes.
correct?
Yes,
Because of the way this was written?
yes, because of that exception of that 2 acres.
Right.
So you would put 2 acres in it with that?
You would
Scott,
need to
now he's got
combine it. You
3
need to add
plats.
whether that's 60.58, whether that's 62, whatever it is, you need to add that too. You need to end this covenant.
What I'm
with
saying is it should have been added at the time of the continuation.
Well,
So why do we have to breach it now?
you've got to correct it because this 2013 covenant ended.
In 2023, right?
Yeah, you had to restart it. So now we restarted, but
They
it does
restarted
not.
it.
It does not include what it does not include. That 60.58 does not include that too, because it's 2 specific parcel numbers.
Right.
So the reason I'm saying is you've already got one on the books. The covenant registry for the state of Georgia, you got a 60.58 acre. I believe it's 60.58.
Yeah. The
And
original
William Wayne
subject,
Leslie.
the original property is subject to the original bona fide conservation use covenant and subsequent required Qualified property shall be treated as separate parcels in the county tax digest until the expiration of the original bona fide conservation easement.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's fine to have had it as two separate parcels.
Well, it was, and see that,
Right.
Still trying to get to the pudding.
what if it started back in 2013,
What I'm thinking is that we should have
included the
Yeah,
2 acres
we
in
made an error.
62.
we made an error at that time by not including that 2 acres in the overall.
Or either the attorney made the error when writing the deed. That deed is old.
That deed is ridiculously old.
And so that's
Yeah,
where.
we're using
that's
chains, which is like a 66-foot.
where 66
measure,
foot, 66 and 2/3 of a foot.
Right.
Well, you know, Greg, I had that on the parcel that changed 5 acres I had it resurveyed and the title and the deed did not match.
Right.
So I had to go in and I paid for a survey to get it all proper and it was 5 acres off.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's how
Yeah,
my land was. too.
Yeah.
So
So my thought is we made an error at that time. Correct
Back
it.
in-
We don't have to breach it due to that error.
okay, we'll correct it. I have whatever's easiest.
That's the way I'm reading it.
Based on
You
your,
If y'all
understand.
want to do something different, that's fine.
so your assessment is what?
My assessment is that
The
And
2
with us
acres should
being
have been
compliant
included
with
at the
their
time.
department, it's,
when the prior chief appraiser
Yeah.
filled this conservation
In
continuation
2013.
in 2013 out, yeah, she didn't include, and she might just overlook, I don't want to be critical,
Right.
but the other 2 acres and the other parcel number should have been included on this document.
But also remember, Wayne Leslie did not own this property in 2013. Dan Caldwell did. I believe that's who. He had it a while.
still, it's the same thing though.
It's still the same
Joseph.
thing.
So
Joseph.
we would go back to the
Are you
2013 or we're going to, where are we going to make the correction at? What year?
in 23 when the continuation.
It was filed.
So we're just going to back up and just show it as adding that 2 acres at the continuation of the 2023.
I'm thinking that's the simplest solution.
And without penalty due to our error.
Right.
Yes.
All right, so can I entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion to go back to 2020,
I think it's 2023.
23, when this continuation, or
When the original covenant ended from 13 to 23, so we gotta go back and correct it from 23 forward.
yeah, we can correct it from 23 forward and add that 2 acres into it. And then
So that-
January, we're going to have to adjust the whole thing with this
Well,
new
in
plat.
January with the new plat.
Yeah.
That, without that being included, that new plat would cause a breach. 'Cause you're
Right.
Taking something that's in covenant,
Exactly.
putting something that's not. Can't do that. But not without a breach.
So even though somebody owns 2 acres on a separate parcel and it doesn't make the conservation, they can include it with a bigger parcel to meet the conservation.
Subsequently, if they subsequently
As long
acquire
as
it.
it's
Yeah.
contiguous, correct?
Yes, as long as it's
Same
contiguous,
side by
yes.
side.
Contiguous, and it can be subsequently acquired. You can see a 2 acre tract, just like this one. Same property. They all, even though you have a boundary on it, you're doing the same thing on the big property that you're doing on the small.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor. Can I entertain a second? Did you make that motion? Did you
I
finish
made
your
the
motion?
motion.
Yes. Can
I second the motion.
Okay, now we go to discussion. Any further discussion? Go ahead. All right, we got a motion and a second to add the 2 acres back to 2023 where the approval was continued,
Or it's still a renewal. That was a renewal.
a renewal due to an error made back in 2013 where it should have been included. All in favor? All right, motion carries. That make it your day a little bit
Yeah,
easier.
it makes a whole heck of a lot easier.
Awesome. All right. So now we're moving on to item 12, which is new business. First item on the new business is,
Well, it's
11.
changed.
what changed?
That was kind of hard to find,
Oh, okay.
so you might want that.
What's up? Non-disclosure. Do you have that non-disclosure so you don't look at it?
Haven't we already seen that?
This is a new one.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm gonna pass it back on. All right, everybody's reviewed the non-disclosure application. Can I entertain a motion for that non-disclosure to be approved or disapproved?
I make a motion to approve it.
I second the motion to approve.
Got a motion and a second on the floor to approve the non-disclosure. All in favor? Motion carries. B, approval of the Department of Revenue Conservation and FLPA values. Now, they haven't actually had the meeting yet for those values, right?
The Department of Revenue comes up with these values and send them out the first year. So Board of Assessors has to approve the values that the state of Georgia through the Department of Revenue. That's what you're approving. That's what we'll put into our CUBA. That's your ag lands 1 through 9. That's your woodlands 1 through 9. You'll learn about that next week. That's those values are comprised of income from leases and some sales. The majority is from 65% of it is from lease. What property gets leased in the state. And that's what the Department of Revenue guys do. They go through and find all that information. That's how you come up with your conservation values. That's based on the use of the soil, based on soil type.
So
You're required, and they'll ask for it in minutes to show that you approve those values, because that's what's gonna go to every conservation, every FLPA.
approve the values that they're going to discuss and set tomorrow. The way I interpreted it, the Revenue Department they have the meeting tomorrow to set these values, correct?
Those are already set.
They already
Okay,
said it
already
because it's
said.
been sent out.
All right, so can I entertain a motion?
I make a motion, we approve the Department of Revenue's values.
I'll second it.
Got a motion on the floor and a second to approve the Department of Revenue's conservation and FLPA values. All in favor? Motion carries. So C's moved down to 14, so now we're going to real property. Real property, we have 13 new CUVA applications.
Here, she must see on your
See.
business.
That's,
That-
I'm sorry, I interpreted that as,
We'll
I
move
was
that
up
down,
here.
but
Yeah,
Do you want to
no.
move that down the John?
so that was my mistake, because I was thinking.
Okay, you want to move it down?
Yeah, move this goes
Also,
with Joe.
okay.
This goes with Joe.
Okay, it goes with Joe.
But this has to be approved.
Okay.
This commercial part of it. That's a no.
Do we need
This should have already.
we
should have done
need
this
Joe
in
here for
January.
that? We don't need Joe here for this approval of this
Not
contract.
to approve this is the council.
Okay, so we need to go ahead and stick with that.
Let's go on and
Then
see.
he can explain the other part of it.
So this is basically approving or amending the existing contract of the services that they've been providing. All the subdivisions that they have assessed were not
Or will
included.
assess.
And or will complete their assessment on, were not included in the initial contract. So for the additional $5,000, so we're basically amending our,
We'll let him discuss that $5,000 because I want him to explain that to y'all. I don't,
all right, so we really need to amend the agenda again to include this to move
To
down.
include that with invited guests. I thought.
Right.
All right, I'll make a motion to re-amend, number
The agenda to move item
letter
11C
C
down the fall.
to number 14.
There you go. To include with that, yeah.
Isn't that number 10?
What was that now?
Isn't that number 10?
It's really number 12A, and Joe was 7, but we moved him the invited guest, Norman Appraisers. We moved
Right,
him
so
down. to
board
4.
members would then become 7.
Yes,
Chief appraiser would become 8.
yep.
Old business would be 9.
9,
New business would be 10.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, so so that goes to
that's what I
7.
was thinking
8,
earlier,
9,
but somebody
10.
told me 12. I'll
So
go with it.
10C is being moved down with, where we moved item 7 to
14.
14. All right, so
All right,
that's your,
that's my re-amendment,
Well, that
yeah.
would be 13.
huh?
That would be 13.
Yeah, Christopher's making it,
I'm sorry.
Yes, it'll be 13.
all right. Yeah, because it would be 12 and it would be 13. So yeah, so we're re-amending it anyway. So
And
you're,
we're also gonna have to re-amend it for the number 13 because the attorney's not here. We need to delete that. I didn't catch that earlier.
Well, it'll just stay 12, and he'll just not here, so there won't be any
He won't
comment.
have any report.
Yeah, he just won't have a report.
Okay.
So your motion should be to re-amend the agenda to include, item 10C with item 7 under 13.
Correct.
Make a motion to second.
Okay. Got a motion and a second. All in favor? All right, that carries. Okay, so now we're down to real property, which is item number 11, right, Chris? 8, 9, 10, 11, right?
The 11, right?
Okay, so we have 13.
Yeah, but it didn't have a number originally, so.
Yeah.
It's under new business.
It's real property, but it's under new business.
It's under new
Okay.
business.
So it's, so it
It's
doesn't
still,
have.
So
it's
it's still
still
10.
10.
So it's still
Okay.
10.
You're still 10.
Okay. All right, so now we're still in the real property, still under line item 10, subset. We have 13 new CUBA applications for parcel numbers 046004CC, 042-015, 042-016AR, 042-014, 097-005, 058-056, 094-213, 073-002A, 088-003C, 088-003B, 077-027, 069-026, and 072-001A. Staff recommends approval.
I make a motion to approve
I second it.
Based on staff recommendation.
based on staff recommendations of 13 new applicants.
I
Got it.
second it.
Got a motion and a second on the floor to approve the new applications for the 13 CUBA properties, parcels just noted, based on staff recommendation. All in favor?
Discussion,
Go ahead.
all these conservation, I know you inspected them, do they meet the acreage and are they practicing conservation? None of them has any special stuff to get,
Like a
to apply for less.
commercial use, like stuff like that?
No, to apply, where they say they have a Christmas tree farm on 5 acres and then they bring special paperwork to,
Yeah, if you got that, yeah, they're required to bring all that, yeah.
has any of these done that?
Which ones are you speaking of?
I'm not speaking of anyone in particular, but I'd like to know which one are less acres and doesn't meet the conservation.
So in summary, it would be the responsibility of the tax assessor's office to not approve an application and approve them all if they
Until
did,
they
if they weren't
submit all the
compliant.
required documentation, yeah.
Yeah, it can be less than 10 acres and still,
Yeah, I learned that this week.
yeah,
But they gotta have special
yeah, as long as. they-
paperwork.
Right.
Well, Liam, he's
As long as they
already,
submit.
he's made the recommendations. He said that each one of these applicants has met the requirements. So
Yeah, for
we're,
most of
we're
it,
here to, not to discuss it. We're here to approve what he has recommended.
If somebody, if I knew exactly, if you had one that we could, specifically look at, that would be a little bit different. But
If you had a specific parcel that you had reviewed that you wanted to question, there would be worthy of discussion, but just an abstract, just to ask if they're all in compliant. That
yeah,
would
we
be
wouldn't bring them to
assuming.
you if we wouldn't bring them to you if we didn't, if they didn't qualify. That's what you're asking.
So what I'm asking is, there's some tracts, some of those are less than 10
Yeah,
acres.
that's perfectly fine.
And what kind of
Which one are you speaking of?
the one that's less than 10 acres?
Which one is that?
We had that conservation come in one time with this lady had 25 chickens and she was selling eggs.
Well,
And she wanted to apply for conservation.
Are you
and it
talking
didn't
about-
meet the acreage.
You talking about the Concord Road one?
I'm not sure what it was, but
Well, there's one in here for, right at 5 acres,
how many acres
4.99.
for conservation?
Yeah, but it's probably attached to another
She's got
property.
other property that she's attached to, that's subsequently acquired.
I learned that this week because I had one in question too, of 6 acres.
If you understand what I'm saying, some people come in and want conservation and they just got 5
But
acres in
it's
20.
his job to make sure that it's,
Yeah, if they don't qualify, but to see this one, this 4.99 is connected to another 20 something acres.
Right.
It'd be rather difficult to
Same thing,
micromanage
run
from
the
this
same-
table
go
here
back
in
to
the
the
tax
same
assessor
cow,
board
same-
meeting, wouldn't it?
I'm fixing this.
Cows don't see a fence.
yeah, I say we move on.
What I was referring to is when I went to school, Jeannie Brown said she didn't care if they had 50 acres or 100 acres. If they wasn't practicing conservation, you don't get it.
Lynn, the
If they were
laws have
growing
changed.
cricket heads, she wasn't giving them conservation. So I just want to make sure somebody's doing
Now,
it.
to be honest with you, the majority of the properties don't qualify. I mean,
I know they
in all
don't.
essence, these are not, we're looking back 50 years ago when you had 40 acres on a mule and you lived off of what you grow. That time has changed.
Now they practicing conservation,
You go-
environment, wildlife, and they
I
have
did not
cricket
realize
heads.
that you could pass this on to your constituents, that you can call the Georgia Forestry Commission, they'll come write you a forestry management plan. I've
Yep.
learned that. I've had two.
Even though you ain't practicing
If
for
you
it.
got a tree planted out there and you're growing trees, if you want to argue with the state of Georgia through the forest, you're welcome to do that. But it's like beating your head against the wall because they're paying a forester to come out and tell you how many trees, what size, what the growth is, what is it you're going to do. That's a forestry management plan, and the Board of Assessors will accept that kind of stuff.
All right, we got a motion and a second on the
Yeah,
floor.
let's do
Any
it.
further discussion on anything specific?
No.
All right, all in favor? Motion carries. Next item is B. We have 18 applications for CUBA continuation. Staff recommends approval.
Can I get my agenda
These
back?
are for
Continuation.
the 18 continuation
You got
applications
my
for
agenda.
parcel 093-002B, 051-027, 061-006, 035-018A, 013-010B, 040-001P, 062-043, 085-043, 029-018S, 030-003A, 064-001A, 075-138, 047-025IA, 048-031F, 079-058, 064-048, 077-029, and 026-012. Once again, 18 CUBA continuation applications that the staff recommends approval on.
And they're just so y'all are clear on what continuation to do. If you add.
All right, can I bring it to a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the 18 continuations with staff approval.
And I second it.
All right, got a motion and a second. Now go to discussion.
Now I forgot what you're
You're gonna tell us what continuations are.
Yeah, just so you know, if you add your spouse's name, if you take a spouse's name off, if you change a letter, it has to be continued. So it's already in covenant. So all you're doing is, if you don't continue it, then that can cause a breach. And that's not what you want to do. Then that starts that 30-day notification process. So just remember, anything that on that property, when it started, goes back to the day it started, and they change any time to that must be continued. Still doesn't eliminate that original covenant person from, if they don't sign it, then it goes back to that person that put it in. So just so you're clear on what a continuation is.
All right, can I bring it to a vote? All in favor? All right, those 18 continuation applications are approved. Next item is we have 14 renewals for CUBA, 14 applications for CUBA renewal. And those include parcels 029-018W, 016-001, 051-019AA, 063-002C, 051-051, 065-026, 086-023, 07
See,
C, yep,
See?
086-023C, 075-144D, 059-099, 083-004, 080-018C, 059-099A, 059-040B, and 029-018Y.
I make a motion that we approve the 14 renewals mentioned, with staff recommendation.
A second.
Got a motion and a floor and a second on the floor for approval of the 14 Hoover renewal. All in favor? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is we have one FLPA application for continuation.
A subsequently acquired purchase.
Can entertain a motion. Staff recommends approval.
All the plat number.
Oh, yeah, plat number is 061-040.
I make a motion, we accept the continuation as recommended by staff.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries for the continuation of the FLPA application, parcel 061-040. Okay, now we're on to homestead exemptions. We have 41 applications for the S1 regular homestead. Staff recommends approval on the 41 applications.
I make a motion, we accept the 41 S1 homestead applications per staff approval.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor? Next item is we have 5 homestead exemptions for the disabled veteran under 65 classified S5. Staff recommends approval.
I make a motion, we accept the 5 S5 applicants with staff recommendation for approval.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. We have 1 application for disabled veteran over 65, classification SD. Can I entertain a motion?
I make a motion, we accept the 1 SD application with staff approval.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor? Motion carries for the 1 SD disabled veteran over 65. Next item on the agenda is we have 19 applications for L4, 65 income-based classification. Can I entertain a motion?
I make a motion to accept the 19 L4 applicants with staff recommendation
I'll
for
second.
approval.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor? Motion carries based on staff recommendation. Next is, on the item is we have 9 L1 applications. That is 65 non-income based.
I make a motion to accept the 9 L1 applicants with staff recommendation for approval.
I'll second.
Got a motion on the floor for the second for approval of the 9 L1 applications based on staff recommendation. All in favor? Motion carries. Next item under the agenda is we have 47 applications for the L7 classification, 70 and older income base with staff recommending approval. Can I entertain another motion on that?
I make a motion to accept the 47 L7 applicants based off staff recommendations for approval.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries for the 47 applications for the L7, 70 and older income base. Next item on under the agenda is we have 13 applications for L8 classification. That is 70 and older non-income based. Staff recommends approval.
I make a motion to accept 13 applicants for L8 with staff recommendation for approval.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor? Motion carries on the 13 applications for the classification of L8. Last one under real property is we have 5 L3 applications. That is 62 income based. Staff recommends approval.
I make a motion to accept the 5 L3 applicants per staff recommendation for approval.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor? Motion carries on the 5 applications for the L3, 62 income based. All right. We are on to personal property, which is under new business.
Personal property, yeah.
First item under personal property is a 2012 Harley Davidson owned by last name Starr.
Yep. Stars.
What information do you have for us on that?
We paid $3,000 for it. Fair market value from a casual sale as of February 15th, 26 is $26,725. Average price of that, according to this, got a base price, suggested list price, retail is $20,699. So got a $20,000, you got a 14-year-old scooter, cost $21,000 back in 12. The base price is $8,000.
What's the state?
$67.25.
Okay.
What's it got? 48,000.
He says it's got to have motor work.
So based on
Y'all saw the photos of it.
Yeah, here's the photos.
So based on our procedure, we would go with 6725.
I think that's why it's appealing. I have no, I mean,
No,
they're saying
motorcycles.
10, the 67, you got a good deal. Got a good deal.
So based on how we conduct our assessment on that is we go with the lower of the if the state value is lower than the fair market value, we go with that, correct? The
Yeah.
fair market value is lower than the state value, we go with that, correct?
Yeah.
All right,
That's
so,
what
so
that's
the
what we've been doing to stay consistent.
So the 6725 appears to be, that's the state value, right?
Yes.
All right, so you want to wait till Brent gets here, you want to go ahead and move forward with this motion?
Make a motion in a second.
We can go for, we can go to discussion after that.
Okay, you want me to
You
make a
can,
motion? I'm gonna make a motion that we use the fair market value of $67.25 as the value for the Harley Davidson.
Got a motion on the floor? Can I entertain a second?
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second, so we'll wait until Brent gets here just to apprise him of where we are, see if he's got any questions or
Or you could
discussion.
take a break. You could take a break, maybe by then Joe will be here. Take a motion to take a 5-minute break.
Do we know
Can
where
do that
Joe
right in the middle?
is?
Can we do
He's
that?
close.
Can we do that right in the middle of a discussion?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll entertain a motion for brief interim.
Okay.
Got a motion? Got a motion?
I'm sorry. Yeah, sure. I make a
All right, got
motion that we
to
take a
break
brief
real quick. Got a
break.
second?
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second. All in favor to break real quick? We'll come back to this subject.
Let's see where the heck it is.
So we gotta reconvene.
Can I entertain a motion to go back into?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, we reconvene the meeting.
Second.
Second, got a motion and a second on for to reconvene. All in favor? All right, so we're in discussion on this. on
Harley
this,
Davidson.
Okay.
We got a motion right now that, I made the motion that we accept the fair market value of $67.25 as the value for the Harley.
So you don't say, we stay consistent. We either, if the fair market value is the lowest over the, Blue Book, yeah, then we go with that, or vice versa. So we got a motion and a second on the floor to set it at 67.25. Okay, any other discussion? All in favor? All right. Okay, so the next item is we need Freeport Buford's metal fabrication and assembly. Staff recommends approval. Freeport Buford's metal fabrication. What?
This is just continue, right?
Every year, if you're depending on, say, if you buy bulk anything, and it's not the finished product, you can choose to exempt that. That's what he's doing with his. The majority of it is the main thing is his the stuff that he uses to put things together that he makes for somebody. That his inventory stuff like that he uses to make. That's what state of Georgia says you can exempt. That's one of the
And
business-
Glenn's already been doing this, is what I'm
Yes.
Oh, this is
saying.
Glenn
Yeah.
Bufford.
Yeah.
So what's the value of that he's looking to exempt?
almost $2 million worth of inventory.
Okay, would you have an exact figure there?
Yeah, it's
Just-
$1,988,000.
$1,966,847.
Yeah, right there.
1 million what?
1,988,026.
Okay.
That's his return to us.
Okay, so can I entertain a motion for Buffer's metal fabrication for the exemption of personal property in the value of $1,988,026.
I'll make a motion to do that.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor? All right, so now we are down to line item 11, unless Christopher T corrects me, and that will be back to public comment.
We already had that?
No, I'm sorry, that's back to invited
Contract.
guests. Yep, Joe Norman and subset A on the renewal, the amendment to the contract.
All right, sorry I'm late, everybody, but this is about when I knew I'd get here. This is Win Bush. He's part of our crew. Win was the chief appraiser in Early County for 20-something years. So he works in Lamar County with us over here in Pike County, and he's gonna be part of trying to get the subdivisions knocked out for this year. Updated contract, is that what we're going to talk about?
Yes.
So what this is to do subdivisions, all city maps, including Zebulon, Concord, Meansville, Williamson, and Molina. All the subdivisions. When we get through with that, we will have done everything except the cold calls out in the county, the rural tracts. So we're trying to get as many as we can on the digest for the consent order. So more bang for the buck doing subdivisions and city stuff.
So the additional, those additional tasks or items, that's the change in price.
That
Of
is correct.
$5,000.
Yes.
So
that
we're
is correct.
basically amending our initial contract from 80 to 85 to include those services.
Right, and this is a new one. So I've got the new contract ready to go too. So.
So it's not a continuation, it's a brand new contract.
Yes, it is. It is a new
But it
contract.
includes services already completed.
Part of them. The commercial contract is
That's a
something
separate item
Yeah, that's
altogether.
correct. Yeah, and I got a new billing process for that too, just in case they wanted to get it paid before a certain deadline. So that's the other thing. But yeah, this is to do. We've done Ashley Glenn, so we've started that part of this contract.
This all just involves on y'all being proactive as well.
Yes, exactly. And we're going to do as many as we can before we send notices, and then we're just going to continue on.
Good.
So, but we're ready to get started in Whitfield Walk. Need to get an ID possibly. We've got magnets ready to go. Wynn's going to start out there. He comes up every couple of weeks. So he lives in Early County, Lakewood, Georgia. So we thought his camper was going to get blown away this morning. So
Oh, goodness.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was right at Forsyth and
Ooh.
in Juliet, right in between there. So I think it was pretty close to him. So yeah, who do I need? Rob has a copy of the
He
contract.
does. Parish, they will need to, they will approve it, the parish will need to sign it.
Okay.
So I need to entertain a motion for, this is for approval of the new contract for $85,000, which encompasses the initial contract that it will, to include additional services rendered.
I make a motion, we
that
accept
right?
the contract for subdivision, city maps, and et cetera in the new contract from Norman and Associates.
And I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion? Any questions?
Can I look at that real quick?
Sure. All in favor?
And I'm continuously updating land, so I'll always work on the land for y'all. That's a pain.
All right, so now we are down to, we're down to public comment. Anybody got any?
Oh, I do.
Go ahead, go ahead.
It is 9:36 and y'all are almost through this entire agenda. Good job.
For the whole month.
Yes,
For
good
the whole
job,
month.
good job.
And you said we couldn't do it, not you, but
What did I tell you? The later we got here, the quicker they want to leave.
I mean, we really didn't want you to come anyway.
It costs the money, doesn't it?
All right, so the attorney is not here, so we're gonna pass over that. So can I entertain a motion to adjourn?
I give it to you before you went.
I make a motion to adjourn.
A second.
Got a motion and a second to adjourn, all in favor? Okay, we're gonna call this meeting
Is that your stuff?
Uh-huh.
adjourned
That's my
at
stuff.
9:36.